Hi, it's Sharma, author of the 5 a.m. Club, and I'm super happy that you've made the time to be here with me in this mastery session. This mastery session is all about how to rule the world. Would you like to rule the world? Well, if so, you want to take good notes and pay lots of attention and keep an open mind and keep an even more open heart as we go through this episode. So over the past weekend, I was in Los Angeles. I was there for about 2.5 days, and it was a really fascinating experience. The most interesting coincidences just seemed to show up. And what I've realized in my life is when seeming coincidences just seem to show up all over the place, I pay attention. In the 5 a.m. Club, Mr. Riley, who people around the world have fallen in love with this character. If you haven't read the book, this is Mr. Riley is this eccentric tycoon who teaches exponential productivity and rare air creativity to the students of the 5 a.m. Club. But towards the end of the book, he also teaches them how to enter the magic. And I've got to tell you, this past weekend in Los Angeles, I just entered the magic. It was this freaky zone where beautiful things were just happening to me. And the larger point for you is you have magic inside of you. And that is not some kind of a platitude, because I'm not in the business of platitudes. I'm in the business of hopefully offering noble, timeless, powerful leadership truths. You have magic in you. You might have disowned it. You might not remember it. You might not have access to it, but you do have magic within you. When you were a little kid, you stood in the wonder of a life richly lived. But as we get older, we numb out. We forget to feel. We lose our laughter. I look around the world right now, and a lot of people are cyber zombies. They're not fully alive. I mean, when you see someone with a sparkle in their eye, someone who laughs, someone who has a great energy, someone who has the creativity of a kid, that is someone fully alive. And so over the weekend, I want to share at least 2 things that happened to me. So, I was in the sunshine and I was near the seashore, and I did a morning soul cycle class, and I took the time to journal, and I just entered Mr. Riley's magic. See, you can access your magic, and everyone has it within them, but most people are not doing the kinds of things required to access the magic, so they don't experience the magic. I love technology. I think it's an incredible servant. I think it's a dangerous God. And if you're addicted to your phone, you're addicted to being busy. If you're always in the world, if you're always producing, if you're always doing meetings, if you're always checking your social feed, then you're not going to allow your psychology, your emotionality, your physicality, and your spirituality to enter the pocket of the magic. And so I journaled, I was in the sunshine, I did a morning soul cycle class, so I sweat. I was around wonderful people who uplifted me, and I felt joy. And so here's what started happening. I was at the pool of the hotel I was at, and I was very open. You see, because often when you're around stress, your heart set contracts. It's a defense mechanism. It's human. When we're scared, we close our hearts. That way we don't get hurt. But when you enter the magic, your heart starts to open. And so I had a conversation with a gentleman who worked at the pool. And I looked him in the eye, and I really listened to him, and I really gave him some caring. And I could sense he felt my caring, and so he opened up, because here's an important point. When you give people great listening, you make them feel safe. And the job of a leader is to make the people around her or him feel safe. And because he felt safe, he said, yeah, I'm doing okay. And I said, you don't really sound like you're doing okay. And he said, well, okay, everything here at the hotel is going really well, but And my personal life, I'm dealing with a situation with my landlord. And here's what I'm dealing with, and it's frustrating me. And I said, of course that would frustrate you. That's your home. And we got into this long conversation, and I just listened to him. And then at the end of it, I offered him some ideas that might help him resolve his situation in a great way. And then he said, thank you so much. And he was unbelievably gracious to me over the coming hours. And I was in California, you know, the place of great Chardonnays. And so what I did was I looked at the menu, and I found a really beautiful bottle of wine from, I think it was the Calistoga area. And when he came back and he said, you know, would you like some lunch or something like that? I said, sure, I'd love a salad, and I'd like to do something for you. You see this beautiful bottle of wine on the menu. Would you please add it to my bill, because I want to make this day a much better day for you, and I'd like you to take it home, and you and your wife, because he told me he had this wife from the west coast of Canada. I said, I'd like you both to enjoy this wonderful bottle of wine. And he really was speechless. I almost felt a little selfish, because it brought me such joy just to do that for another human being. So that was the first day where I started entering the magic. Second day, on the Saturday, we were walking through the mall in Santa Monica, and there's a sort of a pop-up idea called the Experiment. And you have street musicians, there was an opera singer, there's jugglers, there's places to sit in the sunshine and drink your coffee. I just finished a Soul Cycle class. I was feeling just so alive. The weather was perfect. The vibe was amazing. And we heard this music coming from this street musician. I believe his name is Kwezek. And he was singing a Tracy Chapman song, and then he sang a Coldplay song. Yellow. I think it was Yellow by Coldplay. And then he sang another song, and the way he moved, and you know, people, again, this is the magic. People started gravitating towards us. And all of a sudden, it was just a magical scenario, and there was a little kid dancing, and more people coming, and it's like, you know, we're tribal as human beings, and when we feel the magic, it does bring people together. And I could get into the science of emotional contagion, but I've got into that in the 5 a.m. Club and on previous mastery episodes, but magic continues. And I was really moved. There were tears in my eyes at this moment, just from the music that he was providing and the scene that I was experiencing. But it gets even better, because then we were sitting there, me and my partner, and she was drinking coffee and I was drinking coffee, and we were just laughing. And this homeless gentleman comes up to me, and he just looks at me and he says, how are you? And I said, fine. And we just started chatting, and I looked him in the eye. And I just started listening, and I didn't feel any fear. I tried my best to feel caring, which is love. And I listened to him. And then he said, what do you do? And I said, well, this is what I do, and this. And he goes, oh, okay. And he said, I'm in business. And I said, really? And he pulled out this packaged bottle of lavender. I don't know where he got it from. I don't want to know where he got it from. And then he said, could you buy me something to eat? And I pulled out some money, and I just gave it to him. And he looked at me, and he really looked at me. And I kid you not, he then walked over to me and gave me a very awkward hug, but it was a hug. He just sort of leaned over and gave me this hug. And then he walked away. Hi, it's Robin Sharma, and I really hope you're enjoying this episode of the Mastery Sessions. I'm absolutely delighted that people from across the planet are getting such great results from what I'm doing in the Mastery Sessions. Well, For a long time, we've received so many requests from advertisers to put their ads on the mastery sessions, and I have resisted doing so. And yet what I wanted to do very quickly is offer you 2 resources that I absolutely know will create some marvelous shifts and elevations and results in your performance and in your personal life. The first is my book, The 5 a.m. Club. If you have not read it, you really need to know it's one of the best-selling books on the planet right now for a reason. It is transforming the lives of everyday heroes and people who want to make their ascent to world class. Definitely read The 5 a.m. Club. You are going to find it a very special book for your rise to world class. Secondly, for years people have been asking me, Robin, we want you to be our mentor. Robin, we want you to be our coach. We want to learn what you've taught to the billionaires and the NBA superstars and the other professional athletes and the film icons and the titans of industry. Really quickly, all you need to do if you're interested in me becoming your mentor, head over to thecircleoflegends.com. Thecircleoflegends.com. I've created a world-class digital mentoring program where I will work with you each month to help you make your leap and your ascent to absolute world class. Okay, now back to the episode. And then the final piece of magic was, I was on the red eye, so going to the airport, and I was with this Uber driver who was taking me to LAX. And again, as I was walking to the Uber, I just smiled, and I could see through the windshield as I was leaving the lobby of the hotel, I could see him smiling back at me. And as I got into the Uber, he was incredibly polite, and I noticed he had pressed jeans, a shirt that I could tell showed his pride, and polished cowboy boots. Polished cowboy boots. This was a man who cared about his job, cared about his appearance, cared about his reputation and his good name, because you can't put a price tag on the value of your good name. So as I got into the Uber, I said, I think I am with a really professional Uber driver. And he smiled and he started talking, and he says, you know, I drive a lot of celebrities. I don't even need to mention who he drives, but he said, and they always ask for me and they always enjoy me driving them. And I say, why? And he said, well, oh, I have this, and here's what I've done, and I've got other businesses, and I've raised a family, and I came here with no money, and my daughter is a gynecologist, and she said, I've got the greatest wife. You know, she just takes such good care of me, and I'm really blessed, and I teach my friends how they should treat their partners. And we got into this, well, it wasn't a conversation. I mean, I always want to be honest with you, it was a monologue, but I just listened, and I listened, and I listened, and I probed, and I laughed, and it was just, I've realized you can really connect with someone just by listening. And by the time he dropped me off at LAX, we'd spent 45 minutes together. He gave me my bags, and he looked me in the eye, and then he reached over to shake my hand. So it was really great talking to you. And I kid you not, he gave me this, he went for it, and he just gave me this awkward, amazing hug. And even as I share this message with you, you know, I'm moved because there is such good in the world. And there is such magic inside of people. And if you can access your own primal glory, by doing the things I teach you in the 5 a.m. Club and my other mastery episodes, and you do it with real sincerity, and you do it with real commitment. I mean, commitment sounds like a simple word, and I hear a lot of people, well, I tried joining the 5 a.m. Club, or I tried running the 2020 formula the 20-20-20 formula that you teach, or I tried your leadership philosophies, and it's hard. Well, you know, world class isn't an easy sport. You know, being an NBA champion is hard. Being someone who builds a high impact business is hard. Building a beautiful relationship with those you love is hard. Mining your genius is hard. but it's the best work you'll ever do. And so anyway, I hope this episode has been helpful to you, and I want to remind you that you can rule the world and you can enter Mr. Riley's magic. And it does exist. It's pretty much a secret order that only a lot of the great artists and geniuses and humanitarians and world changers have entered. But I experienced it. Just an ordinary person, such as myself, who comes from very humble beginnings, I entered the magic just by doing a few things that some of which I've shared with you. And I do believe that is how you rule the world in your own unique way. You access your humanity, you access your generosity, you access your civility, you access your caring, you access the best within you. And that's not weak. It takes incredible strength to not be contracted, but to open up and to be vulnerable, real, alive, sincere, genuine to another human being. And if you do that, you not only will experience the kinds of things I experienced in Los Angeles on the weekend, your clients will fall in love with you. Strangers on the street will never forget you. Teammates will adore you. Your family will be mesmerized by you. And here's the thing I'll leave you with. The concept of self-faithfulness. By living in such a way and leading in such a way, you'll be faithful to who you truly are, which is the primary relationship that determines every other relationship. Self-faithfulness. If you are faithful in your primary relationship, which is your faithfulness to that hero and that brilliance and that love and that bigness inside of you, if you're faithful to that relationship, you'll be faithful to your partner. You'll be faithful to your team. You'll be faithful to your genius. You'll be faithful to your dreams. You'll be faithful to your talents. You'll be faithful to your values. You'll be faithful to your mission. You'll be faithful to the world. So hopefully this mastery session has been of service to you. If you want to know what the next step is, I strongly encourage you to read the 5 a.m. Club. It's transforming the lives of leaders, elite performers, everyday heroes across the planet. It's currently one of the best-selling books in the world right now. Do your primal genius a favor and read the 5 a.m. Club if you want to go much deeper into my philosophy and really learn how the best in the world do it. At the end of the book is a free 66-day digital mentoring program where I will mentor you over 66 days so you install early rising and the 20-20-20 formula, which is a life-changing formula. You'll learn about it in the book, but I give you this free 66-day program. Details are at the end of the book, and you should also know, and I'm happy to tell you this, a portion of my royalties from the 5 a.m. Club goes to help children suffering from leprosy. So when you invest in your transformation, you're also investing helping a kid suffering from a very difficult affliction. What else must I share with you, or can I share with you? A lot of people are saying, Robin, we'd love to go a lot deeper than what you teach in the mastery sessions. You know the power of a mentor. You know, great athletes all have coaches for a reason, because you really can't do it alone. It'll cost you a lot more to try to figure it all out. It'll cost you time, it'll cost you frustration, it'll cost you loss of energy, it'll cost you maybe the best years of your life. So if you want me to be your mentor, where I work with you each month, teaching you how the superstars build exponential creativity, productivity, elite performance, legendary prosperity, and living a soulful, beautiful life while you do it, then take the time to head over to thecircleoflegends.com, thecircleoflegends.com, and you'll find the details on my world-class online personal mentoring program. And if I were you, I would get one of the limited spaces, because it's a very valuable and powerful process. And finally, if this episode has been helpful to you, I would love it if you would share it with 3 friends over the next 24 hours. Teacher learns the most. So if you share it with 3 friends and then talk about it with 3 friends, you're going to deepen and integrate the learning so it's more sustainable. And yet you're also going to lift 3 friends up so they understand what I've shared in this episode. I'll talk to you in the next mastery session, and I wish you all green lights. Hi, this is Robin Sharma. I hope you received great value from this mastery session. If you'd like to receive potent training videos, blog posts, learning tools, and information on my 2 live events, Personal Mastery Academy and my flagship 4-day experience, the Titan Summit, go ahead and visit robinsharma.com.